Today, I'm going to show you the most difficult question in the IELTS exam. Stay tuned. What up everyone, it's Andy from 5 Minutes About IELTS. Like I said, today I'm going to tell you the one question in IELTS speaking that a lot of people think is the most difficult and cannot answer. And that question is, can you hand me that? Alright. Describe a period in history which has always interested you. I don't know anything about history. So, in the IELTS speaking test, there are always questions like that. They ask you about something that you don't even know anything about. So what should you do? Now, I'm going to suggest 2 incredibly helpful ways for you to answer these questions in great slang, even if you don't know much about them. Let's go. Number 1, admit that you don't know much about the topic. The IELTS exam is not a test of knowledge, it is a test of English proficiency, of how well you can use the language. So if you don't know much about history, then just admit it. Just admit that you're not an expert in history. Just say to the examiner like, truthfully, I'm not an expert at history. In fact, it has always been my weakness ever since school. So I'm just gonna tell you what I know based on what I could remember from school as well as what I hear from my parents. You know, they often tell me stories from the past. That must be like 20 seconds you just survived in the test room. Number 2, repeat the question to buy yourself some time to think. Buy time means that you do something to, give yourself more time to finish something. The question here is describe a historical period, but I haven't had any ideas yet, so I think that I'm going to repeat the whole question again so that I can have more time to think. Okay, here goes. If you ask me about a historical period that I have special interest in, then I think that I'm going to talk about... Okay, you see how slowly I talk? That is because in my head, I am thinking about the actual answer to that question. Now, I'm going to give you a sample answer for these questions about a historical period, but I'm going to discuss it with a native speaker on Cambly. Do you still remember this app? It is a great app for you to practice speaking English with native speakers. Let's go.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Good. Finally. So, what's your name?
My name is Andy. You can call me Andy. I'm from Vietnam.
Okay.
I have this really difficult question in IELTS speaking part 2. So I need your help.
Yeah, sure.
The question is, describe a period in history that you are interested in.
Do you want to try to tell me? Do you want to try to describe a period in history that you're interested in? And then I can give you feedback?
Yes. Sure. I think that I'm going to talk about a period in the history of Vietnam that I often hear from my parents. I think the period of time that I would like to talk about is a period after 1975. It was years after the war against America in Vietnam, and the country had just become unified. The thing that makes me really interested about that period is that even though that our country had to suffer many consequences from the war, like poverty or hunger or economic difficulties, people in this country were willing to work hard. And I think that according to my parents, everyone was really hoping for a better future. My parents told me that even though that it was a really difficult period for everyone in Vietnam, but it was a happy one. Now, I think that our country has come a long way. Our country has moved on from the past and now is becoming more and more integrated with the world economy, and my country's relations with other countries have definitely improved.
It's a good idea to have a description. Like, you have to actually describe this period of history, which you haven't really done. So after the war, really, what was it like in Vietnam? I mean, people were hopeful, but what was it really like? So you need to describe daily life. You need to describe difficulties people faced. You need to actually describe the whole period of time, and you need to spend about 30 to 40 seconds on that.
Do you enjoy that little talk? I hope that it will give you some ideas for the IELTS speaking test. And don't forget to download Cambly onto your phone to practice speaking English anywhere and anytime with a native speaker. And if you are on your computer, you can click the link in the description below to get 15 minutes for free talking with a native speaker on Cambly. And if you are on your phone, you can go to App Store or Google Play to download Cambly and use my referral code to get free 15 minutes with a Cambly tutor. But before getting your free 15 minutes, I have to tell you that don't try it without preparation. Many people just use a code to use Cambly and video chat with a tutor immediately without even knowing what to say. That is such a waste. So now I have some suggestions for you to use Cambly more wisely. First, always have a topic in mind to talk about when you call a Cambly tutor. Like for my previous session with a Cambly tutor, I already know what I'm going to talk about, a historical period. Second, before calling your Cambly tutor, jot down as many ideas as you can so that you can exchange those ideas with the Cambly tutor. In this way, you and the tutor will have a lot of things to talk about and the session will be much more productive. Third, ask your Cambly tutor if there are some kind of mistake that you make way too often. You and me, we are not native speakers. Sometimes we make mistakes that we don't even know about. So that is all about today's episode of 5 Minutes About IELTS. I would like to say thanks to Cambly for sponsoring this video. And guys, don't forget to download Cambly onto your phone or use it on your computer using my referral code right here to get free 15 minutes to talk with a native speaker on Cambly. And if you love the app, you can pay for a subscription. That's up to you. I personally have been using Cambly and I love the experience. If you love this video, remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel here because I make new videos every week. I'm Andy from 5 Minutes About IELTS. That is a wrap and adios.